Welcome. I hope you got to see the new video. That is a new beginning for this time together. I'm Christine Casten, and this is Gathering Momentum for Your Life, an interactive devotional that I am so excited to invite you to be a part of. I would love for you to share on the chat anytime that you have a chance. If you're seeing this and it is not live, please feel free to post. I would love to have your comments and be able to see where you're from, what your thoughts are on different things that we're talking about, and love to have your comments as well. Whether you are live here or see this later, I'm so glad that you are a part of this journey with me. So today we're going to continue our talk on kinship, which is one of the chapters focus in that book that is called Momentum, The Journey Begins. Now, you don't have to have read the book for us to be able to do this. This is just something I'm using as a foundation point to pull some stuff out of and to have some talking points so that we have a chance to connect. So I see that some people are posting. So, hey, Cole, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. We are going to continue to work on what this looks like with this kinship journey. A lot of times in our lives we really long for those deep relationships, and that's one of the reasons why I feel it's important for us to spend some extra time on this particular concept. Today we're actually going to enjoy what it is to reflect on the beauty of creation and life with Jesus in kinship together. Now, you may say, well, gosh, that's broad. That could go a lot of different directions. And you're right, it actually can go a lot of different directions. So, one of the things that I think is important for us to address, especially when we're part of the church, is the whole idea that our relationships that we have are not just ministry assignments. A lot of times I hear people talk about, oh yeah, that's a ministry assignment. That person is a ministry assignment. But what if they're actually a divine appointment? What if we have an opportunity to build deep relationship with them, and there's supposed to be an exchange? I don't know of those who are out there right now, if you'd like to share your thoughts on exchange versus brief connection, if that's which one you would prefer when you're interacting with people and when you're trying to form deep friendships. For me, I personally would rather have that deep exchange, because to me, the whole reason that Jesus created us was for relationship, and that God created us is for relationship with each other and with Him. It goes back to the great verses that when He was asked, kind of what is your life message, and He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. So there's something really important about that connection, and that's why we're talking about that today. So one of the things, I I I I don't know if you've realized it, but every time I have this video, there seems to be something different going on. That's because we're remodeling. So if you hear any weird noises or anything like that, I apologize, but we are just going to have some fun. Shannon, deep exchange. Yes, you and I speak the same language on that. We both prefer that too. It's good to have you here. And as you guys are joining, the question we're asking right now is just, would you rather have a deep exchange or a surface connection with people? And we're talking about the value that we can have for each other when and a lot of it has to do with how we enter into a relationship. Sometimes when we enter into a relationship and we think of it as a ministry assignment, that's not going to open something deep because we're just there to pour in. But what if there's an exchange? And that's really what I'd like to talk about is this exchange. When you connect with people, um, one of the things that we're asked to do is be vulnerable. And so one of the things I'd like for us to talk about is what are some of the things that can keep us from being vulnerable? What are some of the barriers that you've seen that in your life or in the lives of others that have been barriers to you in being able to connect with people, or barriers you've seen in others that have kept you from connecting with them? And so, as you're thinking about that, self-conscious about my own failures. That is a good one. Thank you, Cole. It's that whole idea of not feeling comfortable to kind of like open yourself up and be exposed to people. And it takes courage to do that, especially if you've been wounded or you feel like you're not. you're not capable of something. Shannon says past experiences and rejection. And yes, those are so much a part of our sometimes what keeps us from wanting to connect to people. A lot of times those insecurities or maybe that immaturity, depending on what's going on in our lives, may cause us to react in a way that kind of tries to put our best foot forward. And sometimes if we feel like if we're really seen, that won't put our best foot forward. And then sometimes also we've experienced rejection, as Shannon shared. We've experienced rejection, and it's really hard to get the courage sometimes to want to connect. And that's why I think it's important for us um, you do feel it out. There is wisdom in when you're connecting with people. Hey, Yvonne, good to see you. So when you're connecting with people, one of the things that you can do though is choose to enter into that relationship with a hopeful expectation. Now, those people may not be able to actually meet you in that place. I've had people that when I've talked to them and I've asked them questions that could take us into a deeper place, and been willing to answer those as well. That sometimes people push back and they just kind of like, oh well, I haven't thought about that. I don't know. I'll get back to you on it. And you have to give people grace for that, right? Because we have experienced things in our lives that have been tough, and yet when I've taken those risks, when I've seen people take those risks with me, those are the ones that we like dive into these deep conversations, and we get to have some really good exchanges. We get to have that heart to heart connection that I think is so valuable and so important to what it is to actually connect together and to move into that place of kinship as we're talking about, so that deeper relationship. And one of the things that I hear when I talk to people, when I travel, through the Warrior Commission, through just friends, through different people that I meet and interact with, there's this heart cry for connection. There's a heart cry for relationships, but there's also a lot of fear of stepping into them. So one of my encouragements today is just to, as I like to say, get your brave on, take the chance, take the risk, and go ahead and reach out to people. But one of the things too that I think let's step back and say what is it that in a relationship that sometimes we get to give toward a relationship. And I'll start off with sometimes I get to give kindness. Kindness is something that I get to give to people. It's something that is part of nature. It's something that he's been very kind in my life, and so in my interactions with other people, one of the things that I get to give, because I've been a receiver of kindness, I get to give kindness. Are there other things that maybe you've been able to receive from the Lord that you're able to give other people? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Go ahead and share as you think about that. But kindness is one of those things that for me has been, I've seen God's kindness in so many different areas of my life. And one of the things that I think is important is it's hard to be a friend if you don't know. It's hard to be, have friendships if you don't know how to be a friend. So God is a really great way to start, because you learn about his nature. You learn about kindness. You learn about his compassion. You learn about vulnerability. I'm giving you guys some of the answers here, but some of the things that we also are able to express to others, maybe active listening and a shoulder. That's great, Shannon. That is so good, because there is a time when as a friend, we may need to be that active listener. And even if it's not about something that they need to share in the sense of a problem, just knowing that you're present in the moment, that is so important to people. They know when you're distracted. I mean, these things are the worst distractions ever. Oh, it dings. Oh, I've got to look at it. Oh, I'm waiting for a call. And it's not that that's not legit at times, but sometimes we need to just put these down. My daughter used to have a group that kind of their role was whenever they sat down at a table, they would all put their phones in the center of the table. And the first person that answered that phone if they were having a meal together at a restaurant, had to buy a meal for everybody. So it kept those phones on the table because they were college students, right? So they didn't have that kind of money. So, one of the things that I think is so important about being present in the moment is what it is to interact with people, what it is to listen actively, to hear what they're saying, not be trying to form what you're going to say first or while they're talking, but truly listen to what they're saying. And then through that process, you're able to actually respond in that. And that does create an opportunity for a connection that's beyond that surface connection. Some of the people that have had the most impact on my life have been the ones that I know are present in the moment with me, as they're talking to me, as I'm talking to them. They don't seem antsy. They don't, they aren't kind of checking a box. They aren't running off to go do something else, or they aren't, doing the squirrel thing, or it's like kind of, and then and they're back. What'd you say? And they've lost sight of the conversation. So I think that that's really important for us in this time is to look at ourselves and say, okay, what skills can I improve on in my active listening, in my ability to receive from God and give to others? Are there things that I could be a better receiver of? His love, his kindness, his compassion, maybe his patience, his mercy, compassion. Yes, Yvonne, that's good. Yes. So compassion is a big one. What about the mercy? Like for me, mercy was never a really strong gift in my life until more recently. The more experiences I've had, especially the ones that have been difficult, have created a greater capacity for me to carry mercy for others in the time that I'm sharing with them and they're sharing with me. And so what is something, think about this, what is something that God is opening in your heart right now and teaching you about in his nature that might be something that you get to receive to give to someone else soon? So love to hear from you guys on that. And as you're thinking about that, I just want to encourage us in relationship. Our society today is one of those cultures that does not really encourage relationship. Patience, says Cole. Gentleness, says Shannon Bloom. Yes, those are really good ones. Acceptance, that's another one. Yes, those are all really wonderful things that God's teaching us and that we get to share with others. And one of the things I think is that we can't manufacture these things. I can't pretend to be patient, because when I'm patient, there's something that goes with that. I don't have my teeth gritted. My shoulders aren't up around my ears. I'm not stressed. My voice is kind. My voice is full of gentleness. And so in that situation, I've learned to receive that from God, and then I can give that. I've learned to be patient with God, with what he's given me, with maybe the long-suffering nature of God as I've waited on him to fulfill a promise. He's taught me how to be patient. And it's one of those things that then I can extend that to others. So I really want to encourage you guys, as you're thinking about what is God revealing to you right now that is going to be something you're going to be a great receiver of, and that you can then give away to others naturally. It becomes part of your DNA. And it's one of those things that will actually encourage a deeper relationship and a deeper connection with people that are around you. And then maybe, just maybe, there can be that feeling of kinship or running mates as you interact with people around you. So, mercy. That's a good one too. Yes, definitely. Mercy, mercy me, right? Mercy is a good one too. Thank you. So let me read this. This is the impact prayer from this chapter. It's the prayer that kind of brings all of the dots, if you will, that God releases through what is in this Momentum, the Journey Begins book. And it's something that I think that will help you as I pray this over you. Feel free to replay this part again and again if you want to, so that you can just have it spoken over you and you can receive it. And then again, it's something that hopefully will encourage your heart to step into those relationships that are just waiting all around you. Jesus, grant me the blessings of deep friendships. Draw my crew of warriors so we can lift each other up and encourage our confidence in you. Pour in the sensitivity I need to know how to encourage each one. Allow them an understanding of how to encourage me. Knit our hearts together with yours so we may honor all you pour into our lives. Allow us the joy of the adventure, the bond of brothers and sisters, and help us all maintain our wonder in you. Help us keep our childlike passion for exploration through what is possible in you. May we serve you, each other, and others around us, and may we never lose sight of the diversity and synergy we find together. Amen. So thank you guys for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next week, where we will continue our journey in momentum. The journey begins, but really more so that you're able to tap into these moments together, momentum for your life with God, and what He does for you and how you can connect to others. I hope you guys have an incredible, awesome day, and I'll just leave you with this video.